One of the biggest flops in video game history just happened. Sony was developing a hero shooter called Concord that was supposed to compete with games like Overwatch. And the sales were so bad that basically after a week of launch, they are fully taking the game offline and offering refunds. And apparently it's not even like the game was that bad, it's just that nobody wanted it. It was a visually impressive game with a lot of effort put into it, but it only sold 25,000 copies with only about 700 players on Steam, which is less than Gollum, the worst game of 2023. It mainly failed because it was a $40 game when most of its competitors were free to play, but also it was in development for 8 years. Let me put that into perspective for you. The gaming landscape 8 years ago was totally different. Yes, there was Overwatch, but it was a completely different place. And usually games that are in development for that long are not successful. For example, Super Mario 64 was released in 1996, and it began development in 1994. Most games typically have, a 1 to 5 year development cycle, usually closer to 2 or 3. If Super Mario 64 had an 8-year development cycle, it would have gone into development in 1988, before the release of the Super Nintendo, meaning 2 generations behind. And it would have been development at the same time that games like Super Contra, Super Mario Bros. 2, and Mega Man 2 were being released, as well as Altered Beast. An entirely different gaming landscape with extremely different expectations. The development costs also exceeded $100 million, and that doesn't even include marketing costs, nor does it include the costs of Sony buying its maker, Firewalk Studios, in 2023. This might not just be one of the largest flops in gaming history, it might be one of the largest financial losses in gaming history.